Hi, I'm Nigel Baker, and you're listening to The Future Financial Advisor. We're running this podcast to create an avenue for advisors to share their thoughts and their best interests, and really trying to attract those advisors who want to take the industry forward. What we want is great businesses who are really making a difference and really making a big impact to their clients, and we want to know how they're doing it. So in this series, we're going to be discussing the latest digital platforms, some best practices, evidence-based investing strategies. We want to give financial advisors the tools they need to help more investors improve their financial well-being. So if you're ready to take the industry forward, modernise your advisory practice and reach a new generation of investors and the new generation of advisors, then this show is for you.
So all our recordings and podcasts are general advice. All the content, all the people interviewing here, it's all their own opinions and all their own views. In no way does it constitute any personal advice or recommendations. If you need specific advice, please go and seek an advisor. Thanks very much. Hi, on today's podcast, we have got an amazing speaker, someone who I think you're really going to enjoy listening to and hopefully engaging with. His name is Keith Abraham. Now, Keith is a world-renowned speaker and motivational speaker and leadership coach. He has presented in 35 different countries to an audience of over 1.6 million people. I was lucky enough to attend one of his sessions, our whole team, and his talk was really inspiring. It made me want to reach out to him, learn more about him, learn more about his story. So in today, Keith will talk about the industry and what he thinks advisors need to focus on. He wants advisors to be proud again and to really be inspired and to take the industry forward. So listen in, he's got some great ideas, he's got some great tools as well. Go to his website, check out his tools, which are amazing. They'll help you understand your own goals and perhaps take some tools to your clients as well. So here is Keith. So good morning, Keith. How are you today?
I'm well, Nigel. Yourself?
Very well, thanks. Great to see you, and thanks for joining on our podcast.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity. I know the work that you're doing with financial planners is really vital and important because, you know what, I think over the last couple of years, financial advisors and planners have copped the raw end of the stick and they need a little bit of love, attention and care, and it's great what you're doing is helping them along their journey. So hats off to you, buddy.
Okay, thanks. Well, when I met you, obviously really impressed with your story, and it really helped us and our team. But, we're trying to bring a bit of the pride back to the industry. The advisors have been beaten up a bit, and there's some really good advisors out there. Like, we've been talking to a lot of advisors the last year or so, and there's some passionate advisors who've really got their heart in the right place. So, we're here to spread that word, I suppose, and try to change the narrative. But and before we get into some of that, I'd love to have the audience to know a bit about your story, Keith.
Yeah, look, I've been a professional presenter for the last 25 years, 26, going into my 26th year. Spoken in 39 countries, I've spoken to 1.6 million people, written 5 books published in 12 different languages. I'm big in Russia, Nigel. I sold 25,000 books in a day in Russia. Now, I think they're using it for firewood because it was in the middle of winter. So, so I'm not going to take too much around that. And for the last 25 years, I've worked extensively with financial advisors and planners all over the world, right up through Asia, through North America, a little bit in the UK, obviously Australia and New Zealand. And, the thing that I've love about the financial advice industry. And by the way, before that, I started standing up and presenting for Suncorp when they still called them life insurance agents. So that dates me a little bit, mate. And I did that for about 6 years. So I fell in love with the industry because I just know that the work that financial advisors and planners do around wealth protection and wealth creation is just so vital. And for the majority of advisors that I've met, and I bet you it's the same for you, is that they just have their heart in the right place. They want to make a positive difference to people's lives. They want to add great value to people's lives. They want to be remunerated fairly for that, and that's absolutely 100% all okay. But in essence, most advisors and planners have always had the best interest of their clients at heart.
Yeah, fascinating story. I mean, for you to be 35 countries with 1.6 million people, Russia, 25,000 books in a day, it's incredible.
And it's always about thin threads, Nigel. that's the front end of my career. I dropped out of school twice. Now, you've got to be a special type of child to drop out of school twice, but I was able to do that. My mum got me my first job working in the local council. I started off in water supply and sewage, the bowels of the organisation, so to speak, but I worked my way up to the prestigious position of noxious weed inspector. And let me tell you, that's a pretty important role in the council. I used to travel down the Gold Coast Highway at 100 kilometres an hour looking for noxious weeds. Didn't find too many for some unknown reason. But so it's been a really interesting journey, and even like up to when COVID hit, I normally speak at 100 events a year. It took me 24 years to speak in 33 countries. When COVID hit, 70 of my conferences got cancelled in 10 days. And I sat in the corner for a couple of days and sucked my thumb, rocked backwards and forwards, had a big long drink for a couple of days, and then I decided to build a studio and still did 100 presentations. I did actually 135 presentations in 2020 after 70 of them got cancelled. And in the last 2 years, I've spoken in 39 countries without leaving my home here in Brisbane.
Amazing. Wow. There's a great story there in terms of, building your own business and having that self-confidence and belief and being able to, pivot and change as things have changed as well for you. I mean, it's, what you've been able to do is amazing. And keep that reach going in a climate where everyone would have thought, well, you just got to shut down for 2 years. Yeah, look, and a lot of my colleagues did that. A lot of my colleagues, packed up their bongos and just said, we're going to wait this out. And I just thought, I don't want to be too mercenary, but where there's chaos and confusion, there's opportunity. Yeah. And secondly, I heard a great quote early in the pandemic, and it was, this is not a time to go through a pandemic. This is a time to grow through a pandemic. Mm-hmm. Most financial planners and advisors, I just, in those first 3 weeks of when COVID hit, I reached out. I physically either phoned, physically phoned or set up Zoom meetings with 200 plus of my clients around the world, and I just said, how best can I help you? How best can I be of service? And that's come back in spades. It's the old story. When you add value, you're rewarded, and it might not be rewarded today, but you're rewarded further down the track. And I think it's like what most people have done in the financial. You've adjusted, modified, adapted, and said, let's get on with it. Because, in essence, you've still got people who need you. And the second thing is, you still got to generate, you still got to build your business. Yeah, interesting, really interesting. So if we look at the financial advice industry, what are your thoughts? When you think about the advice industry, what first comes to mind, and what needs to change?
Well, obviously, firstly, financial advisors are resilient. Royal commissions and education standards and the media and different political parties beat up on you and all that sort of stuff. So firstly, the industry is very resilient. Secondly, where there is uncertainty, people need clarity. And one of the most dynamic drivers of anybody is their own personal goals and direction, which obviously encapsulates their financial goals, aspirations and destinations they want to go to. And so it's so important for advisors to have clarity. The one thing we do know is with clarity comes confidence, with confidence comes certainty, with certainty comes consistency. And so the thing I notice with a lot of advisors is that with all the noise that's been going around, advisors need to starve their distractions and feed their focus. And the work that I'm doing with financial advisors and planners at the moment is really around clarity. It's really stopping them, getting them to come back and say, okay, let's talk about what do you need to be absolutely crystal clear on doing at the, focus on the moment. Now's a good time to clarify what your ideal client is. Now's a good time to clarify the work that you want to do, the difference you want to make. Now is a great time to get a vision for the future rather than a memory of the past. It's a lovely quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he just says, you've got to have a vision for the future, not a memory of the past. And too often, what tends to happen with people is we're looking in the past. We are looking backwards. And you cannot drive forwards when you're looking continuously in the rearview mirror. This is a great opportunity for advisors to get their vision very clear on what they want to, where they see their business moving forward. But more importantly, the offering they want to provide to people. And I think there's now more than ever, our marketplace, obviously our marketplace is astute, it's demanding, it's better educated. So we have to be better educated from how we need to be better educators, I should say, and educate our clients from an advice point of view, to educate our clients so that they see us as, dare I say it, the trusted advisor. They see us as the go-to person. They see us as the person that whatever is set out in the marketplace, they're fact-checking it with us as advisors. And I say us, but I'm not a financial advisor or planner, but I've done enough work in the industry, and I have a number of my friends in the industry that I have such close connections with that I just I just feel whatever we can do to help advise, whatever I can do to help advisors, that juices me up.
Well, I can feel that passion, but and it's an industry that needs help. So we look at it, a lot of businesses now, it's a great, as you said, great time to look at their vision, their values, their mission, and really set the future, because there's a lot of opportunity out there. So how do you help advisors, and how can you help the advisors things? So how can they do this? Because it is a lot of it's in their head, and a lot of it's getting some help around how to build that out.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things I'd recommend, Nigel, for advisors from a point of view is, get clear on your own goals. So if you want to do that, you can go to my website, keithabraham.com. I've got an online course there, which will help people gain great clarity. I reckon before you even do that, if you want to go to this website called mygoaldriver.com, and I'll whack that up on the up on the page there. So mygoaldriver.com. And mygoaldriver.com. So one of the things, I mentioned before, Nigel, that 25 years ago, I started as a professional trainer, presenter, and I've always been fascinated with curious I should say, is how do I get people from point A to point B faster, easier and sooner? One of the challenges on how do I get people there faster, easier and sooner? And the thing that we've recognised is that for most people, they get in their own way. There's that lovely quote from Sir Edmund Hillary. He said, it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. And the only way that I saw people accelerating their performance was really getting clear on what drove them, what their desires are, what drives them, and the strength of their determination. And so I did about 9 years of research and then 4 years of development. I created a diagnostic tool called Goal Driver. And Goal Driver is you go onto the website, you answer 10 sets of questions, and for everybody listening to this podcast, they can get access to a free snapshot. 6 pages, gives you 12 insights on what slows you down, what speeds you up, what you desire to achieve, what's some of your greatest fears. What you need to start doing, what you need to stop doing, what you like what happens to you when you're under pressure or stress. And so you get that in a snapshot, and that gives you an understanding of what is driving you. And if people want to, they can click on a little green button and it'll take them to a full report. It's $87, but it provides you with 40 plus pages of content, 135 different insights, 36 performance accelerators, and it gives you a true insight into where you're at. Now, the reason why I talk about Goal Drivers is this is a wonderful tool for financial advisors to use to work out what's driving them at the moment. But secondly, it's a great diagnostic tool. The free snapshot is to use with their clients, and they're most welcome to do that. Because what comes out of it is you can ask your client to have a financial focus in the Goal Driver, and that will tell the advisor what's driving them financially. And there's 8 drivers. People want to feel successful, people want to feel purposeful, people want to feel inspired, people want to feel happy, people want to feel organised, people want to feel respected, people want to feel confident, people want to feel relaxed. And what we do know, what sits behind that is, as I said, 40 plus pages of content, what that really means to them. But what's a little bit different with the Goal Driver is it tells you where you're at, but then it gives you the 135 different, the full report, but it gives you 12 insights into how to move forward. And that's really powerful. So I launched that in February. We've had now close to 3,000 people go through that. The feedback that we get from the surveys that we've done, 89.3% accurate, which is astounding. I suppose, after me putting all the research and development into working with psychometric specialists and statistical analysis gurus, it just continues to amaze me, the amount of people go, wow, it's like you were following me around. It's like you've not only been following around and sitting on my shoulder, but you've been inside of my head listening to my internal dialogue. So that's something that I recommend advisors to do. And the second thing would be then is to get really clear on what their goals are, and then get a whole stack of free resources from my website, keithabraham.com/resources. So I know it was a short question, but a long answer. But they're the types of things that advisors right now need to have some tools, some techniques, some tips to develop their talent so they can be prepared for what's next and what's beyond.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant, because I think most advisors out there are not trained that much in those skills around goal setting for themselves and for clients. And there's a lot of talk around it, but I actually don't see a lot of it in practice.
It's interesting, Nigel, because you're right. People say, "Oh no, I know about goal setting." Really? Okay, so what's your emotional drive? Well, what do you mean? But see, here's what we do know: unless you have an emotional connection, a mental connection, a physical connection to your goal, you'll never truly be committed, compelled, and connected. Which means, if you're not committed, compelled, and connected, you won't do the uncomfortable, the inconvenient, and the unknown. I'm talking about accelerator performance. I'm not talking about someone saying, "Oh, my goal this year is to have a holiday." Well, I think, you just ring someone, or you go online and you book it, put your credit card in, done. Open up your calendar. What I'm talking about is achieving the most important, the goals that make a difference, that matter the most to you. And that's why the diagnostic tool is so powerful.
Keith, with all your years of experience and this goal setting, which is so important for clients, we've got this great tool like My Goal Driver, which we'll share. You put it on the screen, share with the advisor, which I think is really important. And our team got so much out of that session we had with you at Jim's day a few months ago. So I highly recommend all advisors to jump onto that site. It is powerful. Keith, it's been really amazing. I think your energy and passion to help people and to help advisors. Hopefully out of today, people jump on your site and jump on that. But I really appreciate your time. As always, really great chatting to you. And thanks so much, and look forward to speaking to you very soon.
You've been listening to The Future Financial Advisor. So if you've been enjoying the show, please make sure to share it with your network and leave a review on your favourite listening platform. Or if you've got some ideas or thoughts or would like to come on as a guest or know someone who would be a great guest, then please let me know. To learn more about Scientium, just go to our website, scientium.com.au, or look me up on LinkedIn. Look forward to speaking with you, and see you on the next episode.